Hey, Scott Jordan and Mark Warner for Jancast number 163 for Thursday, February 15th, 2024. Hey, Mark, how's it going?
So good.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how good. But 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 we had a great weekend and
Yep.
kind of launching through the week after.
Yep. So we're doing kind of the Super Bowl commercial show here. Those of you that are subscribed to the Sunday Sales Blast would have seen my comments about what makes a good Super Bowl commercial, and one of the themes of the Sunday Sales Blast was how can you use the skill that somebody uses to create a Super Bowl commercial for your own product promotion or whatever, a product rollout or a feature that you want to promote. So I listed 4 things on the Sunday Sales Blast. Go ahead, Mark.
So the other thing you learn from that is what not to do. So
Yeah. So you got to understand your audience. You got to craft a compelling narrative. You have to highlight a unique value proposition and make it shareable. So keeping those four points in mind, we kind of go over all the Super Bowl stuff. But the best Super Bowl ad that I can remember forever is the original 1984 one for Apple Computer, and I think it hit all those things as far as understanding your audience, crafting certainly a compelling narrative. For those of you who haven't seen it, do a Google search. It was doing their first introducing the Macintosh computer. The board apparently of Apple Computer didn't want them to even do the commercial. They're going to sell it back to whoever owned the rights to it, but Steve Jobs pushed through, and it ended up kind of creating a placeholder in history for the Macintosh and Apple.
well, the most amazing thing is the theme of it was every home should have a computer.
Yep.
And that was unheard of, right?
Yep.
Now, I mean, Scott, how many computers do all of us actually have in our homes? If you count all the laptops and everybody has their own.
I got an iPad and I got a phone and I got multiples, right?
The amazing thing is it's just so hard to believe that the concept was considered pushing the edge that every home should have a computer. Like, what?
Well, people forgot back then Apple was almost going out of business.
Yeah.
So it was a Hail Mary thing, but it ended up working out. So this year you got the stat there. How many commercials were there?
There were 59 commercials during the Super Bowl. Yeah, and some of them maybe followed the rules and some of them not.
Yeah.
But we were kind of singling out in our conversation some of the ones that really stood out for us, and then some of the ones that we were baffled by. Like, you were completely baffled by the QR code thing, right?
Yeah, the TurboTax one, and they ran two ads for the TurboTax. So I'm sitting in my house kind of watching it just one-on-one, but imagine in your house, you probably had the whole family around and everything else, and it's like this commercial comes up at the beginning. And what are you supposed to hop up in amongst the party going on at your house and quick scan the QR code off the TV set? I mean, come on, that's ridiculous.
Couldn't you just picture like 100 people in a sports bar, just jumping up with their phones there? No, it's just like, wait, what?
You're thinking about doing your income tax during watching the Super Bowl anyway, right?
Hopefully not, but well, maybe during the first half. That second half was pretty exciting.
Yeah, so
plus the overtime.
That was an odd one. You got a couple you liked though, right?
Yeah, so the ones that kind of stood out for me, that I kind of really, really liked, and it on the rankings out there, it really kind of ranked number 2 or 3, or it was near the top, but not the best. We'll cover that in a minute. But I really liked the Dunkin' Donuts commercial with the Boston Boys and Matt Damon and Jennifer Lopez and Tom Brady, and the theme of it was Done Kings, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And Matt Damon kind of throws that line out at the end, like, how do you like them apples? how do you like them donuts? So it was a spin on a famous line that he had. So I thought that was pretty cool, just because they had so much stardom in that.
Yeah.
But speaking of stardom, it was the Neba guy that was also amazing. Amazing that the past governor of California was in that commercial to begin with, but
Yeah, right. It's only money. Yeah,
but that I thought that was hilarious. That actually made me laugh out loud.
Yep, yep. Well, here's what the one that kind of jumped out that hit all the buttons that we kind of had to think about after the fact was the poppy soda, because that's like a brand new product. Never heard of it before, never seen it before. So I guess if you're going to spend $5, $6, $7 million trying to get your word out there, I mean, it's a new type of soda apparently.
Yeah, I would think that, for something brand new like that, there'd probably be no more powerful way to like put it out there rather than bleed it out there. Might as well put it out there like a fireworks.
Certainly more effective than the TurboTax one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it makes you want to like figure out like what is it, where is it, and why is it worth talking
Well,
about?
we had to I had to look it up because I forgot. Right? I remember the name Poppy Soda, but I guess the next time we're at Wawa, maybe we'll have to pick one up.
Yeah, well, one of the things you never forget is mayo.
Yeah, that's catchy.
So
Yeah, that was a good one.
that was pretty catchy. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like that too.
You
The
know,
um the one that I also got a kick out of, and you and I were talking about this earlier, is Christopher Walken, talking like Walken, and everybody he runs into is talking like he talks. And I thought that was pretty cute, pretty funny.
got to give that guy credit for establishing that as kind of his thing,
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Those
right.
old Saturday night or Saturday Night Live ones where he's like he comes into that lady's apartment and he's like dancing around and stuff. He's like creepy. So
Yeah, yeah.
he's like gone beyond the creepy part. Now he's like mainstream.
Yeah, yeah, but recognizable for sure. And that one was called The Real Deal, I guess. So,
Yeah.
BMW commercial. But you and I were also chatting about the Pfizer commercial, which was
Well, they had a bunch of money to waste, right?
Well, I guess they've had like record sales since March of 2020. So that's a good thing. Or maybe it wasn't March that they rolled out the vaccine.
Yeah.
I guess it was later than that. But yeah, I mean, how many people get to sell a product to every person on planet Earth, right? So
and then decide to blow $7 million on a Super Bowl commercial promoting the fact that we made a crap load of money off of that.
Yeah, that's disturbing.
Okay, and then you like the Kawasaki one, being a big motorcycle rider, huh?
Yeah, business in the front, party in the back. I just imagine what it would be like to have a mullet, Scott. So, but yeah, I kind of like that, watching the off-road folks and everything they drove by grew a mullet when they drove by, and I didn't. I saw it on the screen and my mullet didn't grow, Scott. But I got to tell you, like the girls, my wife and my daughter weren't that impressed with the Kawasaki, but they really liked the Beyonce commercial with Verizon and Can't Be Broken. They liked that one a lot.
Yeah,
so,
did they like Usher?
Yeah, actually, they did. I think I was going to refill my beer at that point.
I couldn't quite understand why he had to take his shirt off, but I guess that's part of the deal.
Yeah, it was. I was told one time, and I don't know if it's true, that they don't pay for performers to do the Super Bowl. Do you know if that's true?
I would be surprised if they didn't.
Or
they get a gift bag that has a Rolls Royce in it.
Maybe that.
We're not paying you, but check that gift bag out.
I was surprised to hear that, and I don't know if that maybe was how it was at one time, and maybe that's changed, but that caught me off guard. I was like, really? But I guess the concept was that nobody on planet Earth can get as much exposure to promote their own brand than you can get if you are highlighting the halftime show during the Super Bowl. So that would be an interesting one. So maybe our listeners know the answer to that question. Do they get paid or do they not get paid?
How about
they once and do they not?
Pseudoscience one was the M&M one where crushing peanuts and peanut butter and chocolate together creates diamonds. I mean, who would have thought?
Who knew? Yeah. That's like I think they called that commercial the Almost Champion rings.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
I don't remember the ring part. I just remember the fact that, hey, there's some cool science
yeah,
going
yeah,
on there. Yeah. So
yeah.
those
Well,
all good stuff. So we did do a little bit of stat work and found out that I think this one was really good. If we're done with this commercials, I'll move on to some interesting facts. So the
yeah.
average price of a Super Bowl ticket was around $9,400, and they figured out that if it's a 15-minute wait to go to the bathroom, that means every person who attended the Super Bowl, and some paid more than $9,000, that trip to the bathroom cost $600.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then who would have thought that you found the stat there specific to Nevada, right? About the
Right.
number of bathrooms?
The arena itself, the stadium,
Yeah,
was required apparently by Nevada law to have a 2-to-1 ratio of men to women, which is that kind of the first time I think that I've had that fact given that the law in Nevada was 2 times as many ladies' restrooms as men's restrooms, and it's also based on the count. So the Allegiant Stadium there had to have one men's room for every 120 men
right.
and one ladies' room for every 60 women. So that's a 2-to-1 ratio. And Scott, you and I were talking about it as we were prepping for this Jancast that often you do see lines at the ladies' rooms and um, not so much at the men's rooms. So
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's pretty valid.
yeah, I guess it'll take a while to get all those proportions shaken out, and who knows if they're doing it in other states too.
Well, and the Allegiant Stadium was new construction, so I wonder if things like that might enter into regulations down the road with not only new construction in other states, but even some of the standards and regulations that revolve around that for
Yeah.
existing buildings and buildings going through refurb. So that'll be kind of interesting to watch.
Yeah. Would have been nice to go to the bathroom and see what branding was showing in the bathroom. I wonder if they had all those whiz things with branding on them,
Yeah, that would be a really well spent $600 worth of research for that 15 minutes.
Well, the only problem with advertising in the bathrooms on the Super Bowl is everybody's really trying to get in and out super fast because they don't want to miss anything on the game.
True.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all good stuff. So this is our fun show. We're gonna get back into business pretty heavy duty on our next episode coming up, and we got some great guests
We
in the
do.
pipeline too. And
We
we
have
won't
some
tell
very
anybody.
good guests. Yeah, we can't tell you, but
It's a secret.
they're going to be good. A little bit more along the theme. There's 2 themes that we can tell you are coming. One theme is a little bit more on the science
Yep.
and some of kind of a deep dive on some of the instrumentation that's used and some of the equipment that's used within our industry and the science behind it and what some of the misconceptions might be too. And then also some insight as to the future of planet Earth,
Ooh.
or should I say the Jansan world.
Yeah,
Probably more accurate.
just
Jansan
some
world.
minor stuff. Future of
Yes.
the Earth. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, and some of the science stuff we're going to get into is along the same lines of our highly rated shows that we did on electrostatic sprayers. And if you missed those, listen to 160 and 161. Stats are still going through the roof on those shows. And for those of you that have those green sprayers, go at it, man. You can water your plants and everything. But we kind of set the record straight there, and we're going to do the same thing with some of the other science we're going to be covering going forward, because there's a bunch of misconceptions about what's going on with this particular subject.
And I think Jancast.com creates this perfect venue for us to get engaged with people who are truly subject matter experts in the science behind these things.
Yep.
Because we did that with Jancast number 161 and 162 and personally learned a lot doing that. So I think that also benefits everybody that listens to Jancast.com.
Yep. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed our Super Bowl commercial show, and we'll be back to regular programming in the future.
It sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
See y'all.